Yeah, yeah, this is Newark Radio, and I'm your host, the legendary Magic. Got a special guest in the building, man. I want to give a round of applause for my man, OG, Newark's favorite OG, good friend of mine. We go way, way back. Give it up, y'all, for my man, Sean McCray. Sean, say what's up to the people, OG.
What's good, y'all?
Give it up for OG one more time. What's going on, Sean? Say what's up to people in this Newark Radio.
What's going on, Newark Radio? You tuned in. About to drop a little something with my man Magic.
Yeah. Hey, Sean. OJ. What part of Newark you grew up in at?
Well, I grew up in Hayes Home Projects on 17th Avenue in Newark.
Oh, the 17th Avenue side?
Mm-hmm.
What buildings were that, 77?
73, 77, top of the hill. Right across the street from Fairview Homes that still stands, right up the street from the new Central High School.
Oh, okay. That's where you first learned your balling skills at up there? Or you was balling before that?
Nah, that's where I learned my balling skills at, in the back of the buildings, in the playground with glass on the ground and concrete. You know, you fall on the ground, you liable to get a piece of glass in your hand. All we did was pull it out, suck the blood, and keep on playing.
And keep on playing. Wasn't no foul calls then. You got to be bleeding.
Yeah, you got to be bleeding. We was a little tougher than these kids are right now. We grew up a little tougher, you know.
Yeah. So what elementary schools, what high schools you went to in Newark?
I went to Cleveland Elementary. I did 1 year down at Dayton Street School when my mom got pregnant with my brother. I went down and lived with my grandmother. She lived in Dayton Street Projects at the time. So I did a year down there, but most of my elementary grammar school years I was at Cleveland. Then I got a little academic scholarship to go to St. Rocco's, and from St. Rocco's I got another scholarship to go to St. Benedict's. Academics, y'all, not basketball, but academic scholarships. But I ended up graduating from Central High School because me and St. Benedict's didn't get along.
So what you're saying is you got a scholarship to go for your being smarts, not your jump shot.
Right. Out of Cleveland, at the time, they went up to the 6th grade. So from there, the Victoria Foundation was giving out scholarships to kids that were a little bit more advanced. So we got, me and a few of my other classmates got a scholarship to go to St. Rocco's for 7th and 8th grade. And then from there, I did well at St. Rocco's. I went on to St. Benedict. So, I had 5 years of Catholic school and didn't have to pay it down, which, was valuable now, but, at the time I didn't really understand it, but it was a little valuable. It taught me a lot of discipline going to the Catholic schools.
Right, when you was going to Catholic schools, and I guess, growing up in the projects, a lot of your friends going to, like, the normal public schools.
Right.
Did they teach you?
It did because, public school get a lot of days off at the time. When you're a kid, you like to be out of school. And, St. Benedict's didn't have a lot of days off, and it was mandatory that you went to school in the summertime. And it didn't have nothing to do with your grades. It was just their curriculum that summer school started in July. School started there in July, and then you would get the last couple of weeks of August off, then you come back in September for the for the full year. So yeah, it was then basketball wise, we wasn't playing some of the same schools they was playing. They never heard of the schools we were playing, and I kind of missed that little going playing against like the public schools. But like I said, my last year I did go to Central High School, so I got to get that experience.
So after all that parochial schools, and then your senior year, you decided, well, I'm going to go to, you made that decision, or your parents made that decision, or it was a school decision?
No, I went to St. Benedict's, and I never liked it. It was all boys, and, I really didn't want to be there. I'm keeping it real. It was all boys. I didn't really want to be there. I didn't do the schoolwork like I should have. I was failing there on purpose, not because I couldn't do the work, because I didn't want to be there. And then my senior year, I was so far behind that Father Ed walked in the cafeteria and he was like, "McCray, what are you doing?" And I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Why you not doing no work?" I said, "Well, this is my free period." St. Benedict's, they get free periods. And he was like, "Your free period, you're not graduating." And I was like, "I'm not graduating." This was October I was into my senior year at St. Benedict's, October of my senior year. And I went home and told my mom, and I was like, the classes I needed at St. Benedict's, I didn't need in public school. I was already caught up with certain classes, and the next day she took me down there and you know, I told her I wanted to get out. I wanted to graduate with my class. You know, they were saying I could do another year, this and that, and I'm like, nah, I want to get out, you know, so I got a chance to finish my last year with my friends that, you know, I grew up with in Hayes Homes. You know, it was a great experience going to Central High School also.
I know the coach was happy.
Oh yeah, the coach was happy. The players
He probably was trying to
happy.
get you for the 4 years you was in.
Yeah, I mean, my friends was always trying to recruit me to come to Central, and you know, it wasn't my decision at the time. My mother always preached that, you know, that education was a little better than the high school public education, and you know, I mean, I don't know. My thing is, if you academically smart, like I don't care where you go, you know, if you could do the work, you know, you could get A's and B's wherever, you know. I mean, the curriculums are the same, using the same books. It's up to you to apply yourself to get the grades. I mean, you can't rely on nobody else, you know, to get the grades for you. It's up to the student.
Okay. One of my questions I want to ask you, like, what was to you, in your eyes, what was the difference growing up, like, in the Projects Hayes Home and growing up on Chadwick Avenue?
Well, I mean, I think it was. I mean, it was pretty much the same because the people that lived on Chadwick Avenue in the townhouses, they were from the projects. They were from Scudder Home Projects, Dayton Street Projects, Hayes Home Projects. So it was still the same project mentality. And growing up in Hayes Homes, it was like, you know, you looked out for each other, man. People had love for one another. Like, if, you know, we all knew we were struggling. Nobody had no more than the next person, because if you did, you probably wouldn't be living in the project. So, you know, it was real life. Like, you know, you couldn't fake a lot of stuff like people fake now. Like, everybody was poor. Like, you know, when the welfare checks came out, everybody was standing in the welfare line. When food stamps came out, we went to the store, everybody was pulling them food stamps out of them food stamp books. So you couldn't fake like you fake now. Like, people now think that they doing better than the next person. We all somewhat still struggling. But, you know, the experience growing up in the projects, man, was love, man. I mean, your friends was your friends. You knew your mother, you knew their father, you knew their grandmother, brothers and sisters. Like, it was just love, man. I mean, I wish the projects were still up, man. I ain't even gonna front, because I miss the love. And every time I see my friends that I grew up with in the projects, even if they didn't grow up in my building, if they grew up in Hayes Homes and we see each other out, it's like we don't skip a beat, man. It's like you know, it's the same stuff. What's going on now and what's going on back then, like, we still show each other the same love, and I just miss that love, man. I think that's what's missing in our communities now. People don't love each other.
Yeah. But like, one thing I like about you, Scoop, Sean, OG, Newark's favorite. You know what I like about you? That no matter what side of the fence you on, I hear both sides call you OG. Like, both sides. Matter of fact, and for you being called OG, a lot of people think it's gang related, but it's not. Because both different gangs call you OG and show you the mad love, like OGs on both sides. And matter of fact, I hear more teachers and nurses and professional people call you OG than street people.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just a respect factor, man. It's not, you know, people say, what does OG mean? They wait for you to give them the negative connotation of OG, and I say it stands for old guy, man. I was the oldest member of the zoo crew, and we played a game, and they just started chanting OG, and I was a little older than everybody else, and the name stuck. Like, you know, people could run with it and say what they, you know, make it out to be what they want it to be, you know. So, and you know, me, Magic, you know me, man. I don't really care what people think about me, because I know who I am, you know what I'm saying? So I don't try to fake who I am to impress other people. Like, if you can't accept me for the person that I am, then we probably don't need to be in the same room, same circle, or having even a conversation with each other. That's just how I feel, and that's just my beliefs. Like, you know, I just try to keep it as real as I can to myself. It ain't even about keeping it real to other people. You know, I can't do stuff that goes against what I believe, because then I would be a hypocrite. And, you know, and I see a lot of people being hypocritical out here, and you know, they say one thing and they do something else. So I mean, that's them. You know, I'm not like everybody else, and you know, I get gripes with people who say I need to do this, I need to do that. Nah, I'm doing what I think is best for me and the people that I'm working with or helping, or you know, people that got my best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it just to say I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a purpose of everything that I do. And, you know, I try to inspire other people to do things for themselves, because you're waiting for people to come help, and it may never come. So your dream may fall because you don't push yourself. You're waiting for somebody else to push you. And, you know, you got to push yourself sometime.
You gotta push yourself. And being that you spoke on the Zoo Crew name, Zoo Crew basketball, Zoo Crew name, Zoo Crew organization, I mean, it's commendable that throughout all the hardship and pain, throughout all the negativity, and a lot of positivity too. I ain't gonna dwell on the negativity. You kept the name intact. You kept it pushed to the forefront. Like you didn't give in. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could have threw that name away a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And you could have did it, and people would have understood. Like, you know what I'm saying? He don't want to. But what made you just I know it was a conscious effort, but what made you just that said, man, I want, no matter what, this is what it is, and this is what I am, and like, what made you just keep pushing?
Well, I mean, to me, you know, Zoo Crew is a brand now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that name came from good brothers. I mean, no matter what brothers did, at the end of the day, if you take all that away or whatever somebody did, their heart was pure, man. And I was hanging around pure brothers. I mean, their hearts was pure. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to survive in this world. And, you know, I'm not knocking nobody for nothing they did. You know what I'm saying? But these was my brothers. And, you know, and my brothers went down, you know, for doing something that we all thought was right as far as marching, you know, for Danette Daniels, and when she was killed by the police officer. At the end of the day, we human beings, man. We got feelings, we got family. Like, what happened to that lady was wrong. So, you know, for us marching, you know, negative things came out of the march, and people went to jail for standing up what I believe was right. So, you know, I don't think you can try to tarnish somebody's name off of bull. I mean, I thought the whole thing was some bull. Like, you lock guys up and try to tarnish a name that people was trying to do for good, because, you know, the name was started for parties. Like, people was throwing parties at Skate 22. We had the club. Like, Zoo Crew was a party. Like, we keep bringing people together, block parties, and just doing different things. It wasn't negative. I mean, a lot of people sold drugs. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But the Zoo Crew part, that wasn't from drug selling. That was from bringing the community together, and people don't understand that. So if you're on the outside looking in, you think it was all drugs. It wasn't, man. It was good brothers in the Zoo Crew, man. Good brothers who I consider like brothers for life, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I ran with the name and I kept it pushing when people didn't even want to wear a Zoo Crew basketball t-shirt. Now you got people, you know, people want to buy it. I mean, it's just something that I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be in the house and thinking and going through things, and I should stop and no, I ain't gonna do this. And then I say, nah, man, this is what it is. If you can't take it for what it's worth, then just don't come around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that should be commended. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people would have took the high road out, or you know what I'm saying.
But people ain't real when they do that, man. You know, you get afraid of what's gonna happen, man. I'm a strong believer that everything that happens for a reason. Like, you know, you can't run away from stuff. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, you can say, don't do this, don't do that. Nah, man, this is what I'm going to do. Whatever comes behind it, then I'm willing to take the, you know, the whatever happens.